What's up, YouTube? It's me, Jackson, here. Today we'll be watching a reaction video with Kayden. And that's it. We'll be watching a reaction video. But all I want to say is, thank y'all so much for 56 followers. Please go follow my Twitch. It's YoungJax12. And let's waste no time and get right to it.
Let's get into I got another reaction video. Today we're going to be reacting to a talking hat. Top 10 things you didn't know could kill you. Top 10 things you didn't know could kill you. So we're going to get right into the video. By the way, I have a special guest with me, Jackson. Jackson will be reacting to this with us.
Hey, they can't see your face.
Huh?
I can't see you. It's alright.
Contrary to belief, air hoses are extremely dangerous, although they're often used for filling up car tires, blowing out dust in keyboards, and inflating huge bouncy castles.
They can only see
enough pressure to tear through skin, damage internal organs, or even be fatal if mishandled.
Oh, right.
One morning in May 2011, a truck driver in New Zealand was going about his daily routine. He climbed onto the rigging between his truck's cabin trailer, a place he'd stood countless times before. But in one unlucky moment, his boot slipped, and instead of falling on steady ground, the man fell backwards straight onto his compressed air hose. The brass nozzle punctured him through his left buttock, and in an instant, high pressurized air about 100 pounds per square inch began flooding into his body. As if it were straight out of a cartoon, the man's body began to inflate in size. Air forced its way beneath his muscles and fat, separating his tissue like it were sheets of paper. His chest tightened, his skin stretched, and his face ballooned into a grotesque puff. Co-workers who happened to cross his path screamed in terror. They quickly rushed to his side, shocked at the mortifying sight. They cut off the air supply and carefully rolled him on.
Y'all are telling me that he got air up his ass. Like, up his asshole.
His lungs and heart were under pressure. Ice packs were pressed against his swollen neck and chest to try and ease the suffocating strain. Ambulance crews arrived as fast as they could, but when they found the man, he could barely breathe. His body literally doubled in size. It was full with so much air that every time an EMT tried to put a needle in his body to start an IV, the air would just push it right out. Doctors later compared his skin to feeling like densely packed bubble wrap just waiting to explode. But luckily for this man, he didn't explode. It took days for the air to escape his tissue, but against all odds, he survived by farting it all out of his body. Others, however, wouldn't be as lucky. Like the time a poultry worker in Mississippi got carried away with his friend while horseplaying, and for some odd reason, he decided to stick an air hose in his, yeah. The air pressure from the hose was so immense that he...
These things are gay. We played around with our homeboys in the work facility. First of all, that's crazy. You gonna decide stick an air? Why would I just stick an air hose up his ass, right? Like, why not? Well, what can happen? Idiots.
Blew up from the inside, rupturing most of his organs in the process.
Love Roblox? Earn Roblox digital gift cards with Microsoft Rewards. Sign up for Microsoft Rewards.
Surprisingly, there are a lot of cases like this, so even though they're fun to play with, air hoses are dangerous. Always keep them in safe places and please don't misuse them. A broken heart. It shouldn't be, but true love often feels like one of the rarest things to find in life, and once you find it, you never want it to leave you. Such wasn't the case for a man who was forced to read his wife's eulogy at her funeral after he supported her for a 4-year battle against ovarian cancer. The pair were inseparable. The man became engaged to her when he was just 21 years old, and the two would go on.
Chat, y'all don't understand how much I hate cancer. Cancer is like my worst enemy, chat. Like I really hate cancer. Like, literally. R.I.P. to all the people who died from cancer, bro. R.I.P.
And me going off what Jackson said, Y'all don't even know. Y'all could be having the best day of your life. Death. Boom. Like, you could get diagnosed with cancer after your honeymoon, bro. Y'all never know what can happen. So cherish moments. Oh, shoot. Go back, chat. Cherish y'all moments with y'all loved ones, because y'all never know what can happen. Y'all could be with them one day, and they're gone the next. So cherish every moment y'all have with them.
To be married for 30. 4 years. That's nearly twice my age. And now, instead of making more memories with the companion of his life, he was making funeral speeches and writing thank you letters to those who came to the service. The amount of exertion something like this can have on one's heart is no joke. Only mere moments after the eulogy, the man was found slumped over in his house, in the middle of writing thank you letters. He had literally passed away from a broken heart. Doctors said his grief was so profound that it caused him to have a heart attack. And this wasn't just an isolated incident, it's a phenomenon that happens to many others as well. It's called broken heart syndrome, or Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. It's a temporary heart condition triggered by intense emotional or mental stress that makes the heart's main pumping chamber weaken, causing it to mimic the symptoms of a literal heart attack. Soda cans. Imagine that it's a hot summer day and you've done nothing but bask in the sun's overwhelming rays of heat all morning. You're parched, so you go indoors to get yourself a nice cold can of soda. But, to your disappointment, none of the drinks were put away in the fridge. They were left out on the table, so now they're just warm and gross. You come up with an idea. You take one of the cans of soda and throw it into the freezer in order to speed up the cooling of the beverage. To wait for it to cool down, you go and watch some YouTube and then end up falling asleep. Hours pass, and you forget that you left the soda in there. Eventually, when you wake up and stumble across your fridge again, you remember that you put a soda in its freezer. Hoping that the drink hasn't frozen solid, you quickly take it out of the freezer, crack it open, and boom. Just like that. The can explodes like a hand grenade right in front of
you. Yo!
Not gonna lie, bro, this is crazy. This might be the craziest one. Oh, soda can explodes.
Dude, open the soda can and obliterated his face. Yo.
Your face. This is a real case that happened to a boy in China on August 25th, 2012. Luckily for this boy, however, medical professionals were able to save him and nurse him back to health. Frozen soda cans are extremely dangerous, and in some cases, they're even lethal. Freezing them forces the carbon dioxide in the soda to create tightly packed reservoirs inside of the can that store high amounts of energy similar to a bomb. So keep your soda in the fridge, and if you do put it in the freezer, don't forget to take it out so that you don't go boom, boom. Gooning.
I might die soon.
Hi, how are you? Good. Have you been here before?
Yeah, I saw this good.
You need to leave.
Yeah. Apparently, there's a couple of ways that gooning can take you out.
Maybe like the ghost of the goon.
If this video doesn't get demonetized, I'll be swift on the topic. The risk of passing away from this is extremely low, especially if you're a healthy individual. However, if you're struggling with any underlying cardiovascular diseases, it's possible that excessiveness could trigger a heart attack, arrhythmia, or a stroke. On September 18th, in 2019, a heartbroken teen suffering from depression would find himself unable to ignore how his last Valentine's Day went. I don't really know how, but he snuck past his parents and locked himself away in a room where he then gooned himself to destruction. He gooned 56 times until he had a heart attack.
Yeah. 50, yeah.
52?
56. 56 times, bro. I didn't even know that was possible.
Oh, Kayden?
What?
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 It says call ended, and it says my name.
Huh?
Go back to the YouTube.
However, I'd take this case with a huge gulp of salt, because due to the bizarreness of his passing, tons of media outlets have exaggerated how he went out, often claiming that he did it 100 times and ripped his thing off his body, which is obviously just not true. Vending machines. He was infuriated. A man had just put the only dollar he had on him into the vending machine.
Dude rips his
Snack
meat
was stuck
off.
inside of the machine, floating in limbo. The problem had a simple solution. Just shake the stupid clanker. The man began...
Wow. Clanker? What about...
machine back and forth over and over again until his snack finally fell and was free for him to take. Unfortunately, however, it wouldn't be the only thing to fall. The 1,200-pound vending machine would also tip over on him and crush his neck against a wall. The man would be pinned against the wall, struggling to keep the machine from fully flattening his neck, but sadly, his efforts would prove to be fruitless. He wouldn't survive to see the next day. More people pass away from vending machines than they do shark attacks. There's about 2 to 4 casualties from vending machines each year in the US. So, if the machine isn't giving up your snack, you can get angry at it, you can swear at it, but don't get into a fight with it. 10 out of 10 times, you will lose. Sudden choking. Imagine this. You're hanging out with your friends, chilling at a party, and conversing with other people while losing track of time. And then that's when it hits you. You start choking on literally nothing. It's called a laryngospasm. It's a sudden, violent, and involuntary spasm of your vocal cords that is so forceful that it entirely blocks your body's airways. Mild cases of laryngospasms last just a few seconds, while more intense cases can last up to a few minutes, which is pretty horrifying when you think about it. 1 second, you're chilling on some mobile games. The next second, you're literally fighting for your life and suffocating on nothing. If this ever happens to you, don't panic or try to gasp for extra air. Remaining calm helps your muscles relax. Take small sips of water to clear any possible irritants causing the spasm and apply pressure on the soft spots behind your earlobes. It'll help your vocal cords ease up. And most importantly, seek professional help.
Stop spending real money on in-game cosmetics. How? Using Buff. With the Buff...
Restaurant signs. In January 2023, a swarm of fierce winds ripped through Elizabethtown, Kentucky. A family arrived at their favorite local Denny's to start their morning off with some warm pancakes and coffee, an entirely questionable option for breakfast. No offense. However, towering above the Denny's parking lot was an 80-foot sign weighing more than a ton. To most, the sign was a glowing beacon for bacon, eggs, and pancakes. But for this family, it became the last thing they'd ever see. A 72-year-old woman sat in the car with her husband and daughter when a storm outside struck. The pole groaned under the wind's pressure, then, without warning, it suddenly snapped. The massive sign came crashing down on the car, crushing the roof and trapping the family inside. Unfortunately, the 72-year-old lady didn't survive its impact, and her husband would also go on to pass away from the injuries the accident gave him. There are multiple cases where restaurant signs, gas station signs, and storefronts fall on people. So, never be discouraged to keep your distance from an
It's still horrible that they died, but at least one survived. That's how you know there's always hope in the world. Maybe they weren't meant to die yet. That's how you know God is doing great things.
Nah, for real though. That's okay, crucial, bro. A whole sign just falling on you, bro. That's crazy.
And especially if you don't die, that's how you know you weren't meant to die yet. You're meant to be something. You're meant to do something great. Just remember that.
Unstable looking board that's giving you an off feeling when you're entering a business. It might just save your life. Sneezing. We all do it. You're sitting in a job interview, or in a library, or in front of your date.
Wait,
and
hold
then
on,
you feel
hold
it coming.
Ain't no
A
way.
sensation that tickles the small hairs inside your nose, letting you know that you're about to sneeze. The natural thing to do is to let that sneeze instead. We just find ourselves stifling sneeze. Don't. My anatomy teacher in high school always told us to break the habit, and honestly, it makes sense as to why. During a sneeze, if your mouth and nose are both closed, the pressure generated in the airways can surpass more than 20 times its normal amount. And in a recent case during 2023, a man sick with hay fever held in his sneeze by instinctively pinching his nose and closing his mouth. The force that built up in his airways was so immense that it literally tore open his windpipe. It's extremely rare to pass away from.
Yo, Jackson.
Hey, yo. If you
I be like this. No. Yo, I'm never doing that again.
From this, but nonetheless, Holding in a sneeze just isn't worth gambling your life. Christmas trees. There's no better feeling in the world than to finish setting up your Christmas tree just in time for the holidays. Nothing beats a Christmas with fruitcake, eggnog, and a house fire. US fire departments respond to an average of 200 home fires caused by Christmas trees each year. And as you would presume, these fires lead to casualties. Christmas tree house fires are significantly more dangerous than normal fires in your home. This is because these fires usually occur at night or early morning when people have gone to sleep but left all of their decorations plugged in and lit up. They're usually caused by candles that were placed too close to the tree, faulty wires, or heat caused by all of the decorative electrical elements. And as opposed to normal house fires that are slow and steady in their startup, Christmas fires with a dry tree can ignite and spread across a room in less than just 30 seconds.
Oh, Christmas,
so, with that being said,
really?
Try not to get too carried away with your holiday spirit this year.
Christmas is literally about celebrating with your family and recognizing the death of Jesus. And some people literally die on one of the dead things.
No, for real.
I wanted the word cuppa as in cup of tea. It would be great to mix with hug. When I
Doing nothing. You see that signs can fall on you, beverages can explode in your face, and that Christmas trees can set you ablaze in your sleep. So you decide that the best course of action for you to avoid all danger is doing absolutely nothing. And then you explode into a ferocious blaze, so powerful that it leaves nothing but your feet behind.
Alright, bro,
Weirdly
this is
enough,
a troll.
nothing else around
This
you
is a
affected.
troll.
Not the table in front of you, not the rug on the floor.
They just explode?
Just only specifically you. This is known as spontaneous human combustion. And there are many cases in the US about it. However, scientists nowadays discredit it fully and dub it as nothing more than a myth.
You can do nothing and just explode. It's crazy.
I'm that serious. If I'm streaming or recording a YouTube video and I just explode,
Yeah, for real.
I can God to rebirth me, bro.
Like, bro.
I don't know why like that.
What about it?
They rather believe it to be the wick effect, which is when a person's clothing absorbs melted body fat during a fire and causes them to burn up but leaves their surroundings relatively unharmed. Others feel like this isn't a sufficient enough explanation to the phenomenon though. They argue that if the fire's hot enough to consume you entirely and leave nothing but ashes behind, then it should also scorch nearby walls, furniture, and flooring. They also say for the wick effect to be true, it needs a clear spark, like a lighter or a candle. But in many of the cases, the victims aren't found with anything heat-related. Toilet time. In Chicago, in 1987, a 70-year-old woman would board a cruise ship with her family. As they explored the wonders on board,
Can't even take a shit nowadays, bro. Can't even take a shit.
and enjoyed the pleasant feeling of being on the ocean, the old lady would be greeted with another, less than pleasant feeling. So she excused herself from her family and made her way to the ship's bathroom.
Her butthole gonna explode from her shit.
Solution to her bowel troubles. The toilet. She closed the door behind her, sat on the seat, and did her business in peace. Minutes later, the ship's medical personnel would rush past the family to the bathroom where their grandma was last seen. Out of concern, the family would follow. And as if it were a scene straight out of a horror movie, they would be met with the sight of their grandma. Her insides were literally sucked out of her body by the ship.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. This is different. No, this is different. If you take this shit and straight up blood just come out your ass. This is just crazy. No, this is crazy.
Your organs falling out your ass.
Bro, nobody can even take a poop this time. Nobody can even take a poop these days. Like, yo, this is crazy.
Bro, what? I knew it was gonna be some bullshit. I knew it. No. But definitely our Peter. And my condolences perfect. But that's good.
She was rushed to the emergency room once the cruise docked at a port. And even though cases like these are extraordinarily rare, toilets have been shown to cause...
You guys stuck intestines.
Yo!
Yo!
She survived! She survived!
A vacuum toilet, bro.
Bro, that's time out. That's what I'm telling y'all, bro. God has plans for all y'all. If she can survive this, y'all can survive a bully. Tell somebody, go to somebody. Don't end it all. Don't do nothing irrational. Don't have a long-term solution for a short-term problem. Like, I like to tell everybody this. It's not worth it, bro.
Yes, bro.
God has a plan for you all.
Lethal harm to civilians in other ways. Take, for instance, exploding. In 2017, a federal class action lawsuit was filed against a toilet company called American Standard after it received 300 reports of its toilets literally blowing up. And even this year, in 2025, a 20-year-old man suffered serious burn injuries after he pressed the flush button on his toilet and it responded with a loud explosive bang. He was rushed to a hospital where doctors revealed that 35% of his body was burned horribly by the explosion. Luckily, he survived. If you couldn't tell, this was a birthday special for the channel. It's my way of thanking you guys for all the support you've given me this year.
And happy birthday, Colin.
We grew from 10,000 subscribers to over 250,000. I'm extremely grateful. But anyways, love your neighbor, be safe, and have a happy day.
W.
Hey, W video, bro. But just remember what me and Jackson always say. Let's say it together, Jackson. They love to hate.
They love to hate, but they hate to love. Don't ever give up on yourself, chat. Alright? Don't ever give